I was saying that thanks, Brian Richard. Sorry, Poleni Sana for that. We went out unceremoniously without saying bye. The studio just went blank and we found ourselves in the background. Yeah, so you can come back so that we say good night the way we normally say it. So tell us, I can see Brian Richard is here. Thank you, Brian Richard, for coming on. Who else is on? Kama ama mlienda kulala, you can come on so that we finish the show. We finish the conversation together. How are you, Alex?
How are you, my brother?
I hope you're fine. I mean, after I haven't seen you in a while, but I hope you're okay.
I'm very okay.
Wangira, why are you coming to the studio right now? Uh,
Unafanya
Wangira.
nini studio peke yako wewe Temba leo?
No, we were here earlier and the show just went unceremoniously and
Oh,
Kusel was on the floor. I think and people didn't say bye. Davy, President, Kewell, Hillary.
how are you
Kewell,
faring on Temba?
Kewell,
Personally, how are you doing?
say what?
How are you faring personally?
I can't complain. I'm very much okay.
Mm.
Shukuru Mungu, yeah. How about you?
No, me, I'm fine. I thank God. We have been through the worst mourning period. Yeah, how things went on.
Hmm.
We have accepted. We are giving them a chance to see if they are going to deliver. But as I call it, today was Black Tuesday. It was
Hmm.
the saddest days. Politically, it was the saddest day of my life.
Hmm.
Just to see Ruto take an oath. A man who
Hmm.
did not win election, take an.
Hmm.
But it's okay. What
Hmm.
can we do, Ben? What can we do? There's nothing we can do. Let's give them a chance.
Hmm.
My only fear was what Museveni did with
Hmm.
his armored truck. I don't know
Hmm.
what he wanted. And I think Makiadi should come here because he's a military man. When an armored truck comes from another country to your country, is that
Hmm.
not a bridge of war? Is that not creating, is that not something that is not supposed to happen? How can somebody bring a military armored truck?
Hmm.
What did you make about it? Because I think that was the most weird thing today that happened. What was Museveni trying to tell us?
Yeah, I mean, you can read a lot, but maybe he was if he traveled by road, that was probably just for security reasons. You know, he needs to take care of his security as a head of state coming to another
Why
country.
will Museveni travel by road?
Yeah,
Why would Museveni travel by road?
I mean, that could be a choice he made.
Temba,
Or the Ahmad
Temba, I
truck
want you to be
went to
honest to
pick him
Kenya.
from.
I want you to be honest to
The
Kenya.
Ahmad truck went to pick him from. Went to pick him from.
I spoke to a very good friend of mine,
uh,
and this is what he told me:
uh,
that armored truck
mm,
was to bring the monies that Ruto had from Uganda. They had
mm.
blocked his money until now. It was supposed to bring all his money back to Kenya. And I think I believed that. I don't know.
you know, you know, Right now,
Uh,
there's why would Ruto wants to I mean, some of those rumors are just rumors. Why would he want to bring money by road? I don't think that's stretching the the confines of imagination. Very far. Why would you want to do? You are the head of state of this country, so and you have 5 years or 10 years to be in the state. Why do you have want someone to work with money to bring it to sneak into the country? That's just wanasema umbea haitaki uzembe. So unajua lazima wambea wawe busy nini kusema ku bring up something. Um, it's possible that it was just a security, being a head of state and stuff. He can come up with that security, but uh, the other things are immaterial. Like looking at what he carried, how he's gonna carry. There are so many ways in which Museveni doesn't have to carry the money to him. There are many ways in which you can wire the money. I mean, you can put the money in the bank, wire it to wherever you want. Those who do money laundering, you come up with projects that you can put the money in. So it's not. I don't think they would be that uncreative. That wouldn't be creative. I mean, do you think? Uh, that is a creative way, or a head of state would want to transfer their money?
No, I'm just wondering why a person should bring an armored vehicle to Kenya, and they are telling us that it was a toilet that he was bringing, because that was the explanation, that he knew he needed to use that toilet. Okay, and it doesn't make any sense to me. How do you bring a toilet to Kenya?
I mean, when Obama came here, they brought everything. Toilet. They brought. They came. He travels with everything. He traveled with the toilet. He traveled with the bathroom. He traveled with
Museveni.
Yeah.
Are you comparing Obama with Museveni?
No, but if it is good for Obama, why wouldn't it be good for Museveni? Are you Afro
even the way Obama dresses and Museveni dresses, don't you think it's different?
No, you see, if you have allowed Museveni, if you have allowed Obama to even come and shut our internet when he's coming, and that has not been an issue, why would you be worried about Museveni traveling with just a toilet? Obama came to Kenya, and you shut all the airlines. Our airspace was shut. You shut our internet. You shut everything. We stopped breathing because Obama was in Kenya. Now Museveni walks with a toilet. It becomes an issue. So it is. I think he was just traveling with whatever he finds necessary, because as a head of state, he has his whatever arrangement on how he would. And Museveni is very, very careful about COVID. He's careful about everything, the places that he's going to touch. He's been very, very careful on issues of sanitation and stuff. So I think he was just trying to be cautious, so that he doesn't suffer anything that would cause him to lose the seat in Uganda. And he still has a lot of years to live and a lot of things to do to Ugandans. Yeah, Seven is still young. Yeah, and he has a long way to go. But of course,
did you say Museveni is young? Did you just say Museveni is young?
I mean, that's what they told us in Uganda. Uganda.
You remember? Did you listen what Julius Malema said? Nature will take a toll on him. Do you remember when Malema said nature will take toll on him?
Mm-hmm.
Museveni is not young. If you believe that hogwash, Temba, I think.
No, you see, Alex, start believing what the people tell you from their country. According to the country, And when he was campaigning, he said he's still young, he can do so much for the Ugandans, and that is what you choose to believe. Museveni is still young, and he can do so much for Ugandans, and that is their constitution says that, and their constitution is open. He can go until when he'll feel like, now I've had enough. Museveni has like 30 years to go before he gets out of that seat. So let's and now he's mentoring his younger brother in the ways that you should go. He's mentoring Ruto in the way that you should go. So in a few years to come, maybe towards his second term, Ruto might just introduce a bill in parliament to remove the term limit for president, because that's the mentorship. I don't think there's a term limit. No, there's a term limit in Rwanda, but the opposition is not there. You know that what Ruto wants in 2027, when he's getting it, he wins by 99%, like Rwandan president did. You go to an election, but he's winning by 99%. So the opposition gets only about point something percent. Na tusipochunga kama Azimio, that is likely to happen in 2027.
Temba, there is nothing called Azimio anymore. What has remained is ODM. You need to acknowledge that. There's nothing called Azimio anymore.
Yeah, you can be right. I mean, it's a Tower of Babel. It was hit. It was hit, and then they started speaking different language. The Tower of Babel was supposed to reach heaven, never reached. So we are seeing Azimio hemorrhaging, and there's no holding. The glue that was holding them together was the seeking of power. So when you can't achieve that together, then you need to pursue it apart. See, if they achieved it together, I also doubt they would still hold, because there was a lot of mistrust in between. There was a lot of ambitions that were spread across, that I think was going to affect Azimio in a bad way. There were also those people who are threatening, like, if you don't give us this, like Kalonzo had started threatening that if I don't get this and this important ministries, then I will have to think, you know. So it was going to be to be very interesting as Azimio. Someone says that Geoffrey Ruto says that I support Ruto, but anything that exists 2 terms is not acceptable. So they are saying but you will do nothing about it if he changes the constitution and he has the numbers. Yes, Benson Budi, how are you?
Thanks, Beba. Yeah, as you say, it's a new dawn with the new government. But I want to start with Uganda and Rwanda. I happen to work in both countries for intensive work in the rural areas of Rwanda and Uganda and Zambia. And I can tell you, Museveni can be re-elected posthumously if there's something like that. I was in Western Uganda, in Masaka and some Western region. And basically, those people vote 100% for Museveni. Actually, in some polling station, because I found myself in schools. I was doing some schoolwork in that region. Found myself in schools, like 3-4 schools during the voting day, and I can tell you they were voting 100% for Museveni. So that, as you say, each country have its own dynamic. Museveni will be there. All these things that we see about opposition in Uganda, just some few young people in the urban areas. Of course, the urban areas have different view, but I think Ugandans are still in trauma of 1986, and most of them will be there for many years. And of course, the political cousins among the tribal communities there works well for Museveni. So he'll be there for some time until he wants to retire himself. I was shocked yesterday he came through the back door. I think he's not okay health-wise, and so that is it. The same thing happens in Rwanda. I think apart from few human rights and few opposition leaders, I think that guy will be there for as many years as it can allow. For Kenya, I think we are past the whole thing of changing constitution for ending the term limit for president and governors. Let's appreciate ourselves in terms of how far we have come in terms of democracy, constitutionalism. It is a case study. I can tell you, it's a case study, and that's why you saw a lot of interest from other countries. If you really watched Suruhu, the Tanzanian lady, she was actually making notes like a student. And there are many things in terms of Kenyans calling the fast, the organization of events, the whole oath taking. She was actually taking notes. I was very surprised that she was actually doing notes and telling you that we are miles ahead. The democracy is way far ahead. So I don't think Ruto have any intention or will be around to change. You have seen what have happened with Uhuru the last 3 years in trying to change some few things to favor him, be it revenue allocation, be it BBI, be it the whole issue of judges trying to subvert the will of the constitution itself. You try, and you can see the repercussion. It's very embarrassing to an outgoing president. So I don't think we'll get there. Having said that, I'm worried, as all of us are worried, in terms of opposition. For us who voted for Ruto, we have always said that an opposition is as strong as a government is as strong as its opposition. So I hope that the opposition will be organized such that they will hold this government accountable. It's also not in the best interest of Kenyans to have someone winning with 70%, as you are saying, 90%. Martha Karua, Mutura Kilonzo, not Mutura, Kalonzo Musyoka, Joho, Oparanya should actually take the mantle from Baba and reorganize the opposition for 2027. I don't know the future of ODM, but I think if Joho and Oparanya steps in, they can take it to the next level. For Martha Karua, I think it's done deal. It's over. It's over in Central Province. They have a new kingpin, and that will not change for the next 10 years. Finally, I think the new face of Kenya in terms of post-Ruto lies in the hope lies in the young tax of Moses Kajwang, Gladys Wanga, Simba Arati, Senator Marara, Governor Son Sakaja, young people like Kangata and Dedi and Ishungwa, Mutura Kilonzo Jr. I think those are the people to take the mantle from the post Ruto, post Gashaguas. I think those are the guys who need to really think about the future of this country, because that's where the leadership lies. So anything around Kalonzo and Kinamadha, I think that is hiyo imeisha natural death. That is my submission, Themba, today.
There's one thing I want to agree with you.
Mhm.
When you look at so far the last few weeks,
Mhm.
I believe that if Simba Arati continues to do what he's doing,
Mhm.
he will be able to take over ODM. First of all, he's trusted by Baba. Second,
Mhm.
the way he's doing his job,
Mhm.
the way he has started, he looks very promising.
Mhm.
Thirdly, he has, I don't know where the young man got the money that he has, but the young man is loaded. And he is able to go against the Ruto government. So the other ones that you spoke, the disadvantage they have is that they are not loaded. They don't have money to run a campaign like the one Simbarati ran. So I think what is going to happen is if Baba want to mentor somebody,
Mhm.
uh, he should mentor Simbarati. Getting an individual from Luo Nyanza again is going to be a little bit difficult. People
Mhm.
are not going to accept. But their
Mhm.
cousins who are kisses uh,
Mhm.
might be able to uh, converge with the Luos. Look, even when he went to Kakamega during the election in Kakamega, he was received very well.
Mhm.
Joho, Joho is a little bit immoral.
Mhm.
Joho does not have morals. Joho
Mhm.
in the heir apparent of Baba, but Joho has refused to be completely stable. So
Mhm.
I don't think Joho can take over.
I see.
Oparanya, Oparanya, Oparanya na Mudavadi ni kama wanafanana. They
Mhm.
can't handle these things. They don't have money, and I don't think they have national appeal. So if Baba wants to mentor somebody right now that I see that can take an effect on Kenya,
Mhm.
immediately it's Simbarat. Apart from that, I don't see anybody who is able to take over Ruto. Ruto has completely taken over for the next 10 years. Unless we come blazing with Simbarati and we support him, we have no future.
I Thereby,
Yes,
you are really
Benson. Yes,
divided.
Benson. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, money, big money. Simba is a serious businessman. So he does a lot of this informal businessman that gives him a lot of businesses that give him a lot of money. You know, water tracking in Dagoretti. He have this bean company, and of course you can say from the spouse the money from China and all that. So you definitely can see the line. But I know he does a lot of water tracking, which is a huge money in that Dagoretti nexus. You know, Lavington, all those people, all those water tracking business. Number two, my best bet for Kenya after this is Johnson Other Sakaja. I think the next Kenya we want after this nonsense of Akina Gachagua and all that is a tribalist community. So anyone who will position himself as a tribalist, in fact, it is time for Nairobi community to produce a president. And I submit that with the kind of money that Sakaja is going to handle, if he plays his game very well, no one, and I say no one, will match the resources because definitely it's 60% of the GDP. It is where the money is. And number two, he will appeal across the board. The tribalist community will be, and we are talking about my son. My son is 12 years. My son does not know Kikuyu. My son does not know, he doesn't even understand why I talk this funny language. So and he'll be the voter 10 years down the line. So the tribalist community will propel the presidency for people like Sakaja. Simba Arati, very strategic. Gladys Wanga, the next big thing in that nexus. I still think Moses Kajwang would make a very good person. I still think in Ukambani, Senator Mutura Jr. is a good person. From the mountain, Kangata will be a big thing. I can tell you the young man is strategic. I see Kemani Shongwa be now the next majority leader, also playing a big role. I see young people like Didi Nyoro being trusted with bigger responsibility by Ruto. What does that translate in terms of resource and wealth accumulation and wealth ranking? So those are young people who in 5 years, assuming Sakaja takes 10 years down the line, he'll be loaded and he can be trusted by Baba. Let me tell you, some of the, forget about the arrangement of 2022, the next 2-3 years, people like Sakaja will try to find their way. And I see them taking that nexus of Western. So I see in Western Nyanza, I see Simba on that side, I see Grades on that side, I see Sakaja on the Western block. And in future, those are big forces. And I can tell you, I can submit here that if you all remember the division of revenue discussion, there was a group of 10, 15 senators who actually gave a glimpse of how Kenya will look in future. And I think I'm mentioning some of those names. I want to add Senator Faki. I want to add Senator Olekina, apart from his abrasiveness. Those young people have now shown they can move beyond the kingpinship and actually think straight. And I think at our age, these are the people we want to propel to take over. Me and you we are still entangled in our tribal cocoon because of our upbringing. But the future for the country is a tribeless country. So let's watch those young people. I hope they don't make the mistakes of the past. I hope, as my friend is saying, they will not be trapped by their youngness and they overwhelmed by their success. You can see Joho have failed to grow the hii ufugaji wa ndevu na all this nonsense ya music na ushoga, that kind of nonsense he have failed to outgrow, but he would have made a very good successor for Baba. But every time you see Joho, you see a stray king rather than a futuristic leader for Kenya we want. Thanks, Demba.
Benson, what is wrong mtu kufuga ndevu bana? Kufuga ndevu is that's a personal choice, man.
But the country goes.
The devil has nothing to do with how you deliver. You remember?
Temba.
Hmm?
Temba, do you remember the people of Mombasa refused to elect Omar Hassan kwa sababu hana ndevu hata moja?
And you see, there's this African guy anaitwa nani? There's the president who was killed, Ivory Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're talking about Sankara of Burkina Faso.
Yeah, Sankara. Yeah? Na kuna ule mwingine wa Msumbiji alikuwa anaitwa nani? Samora Machel. Yeah? And many others. Kufuga ndevu si makosa. We need to isolate. Kama kuna mtu ako na shida za uongozi and personal attributes, zile mtu tu anapenda. Obama dances, ushaona Obama akidance salsa mzuri sana na hizo dini zingine. He's a good dancer. So hizo should not kind of block our appreciation If he's not a good leader, he's not a good leader. Whether he goes to church or he doesn't, or he dresses well or he doesn't. But if he's a bad leader, he's a bad leader. Hata kama atavaa. But you're making a case for the younger generation. I want to, now that Alex has given his view, you have given your, I also want to give my thought to it. And then now we can look at all of them. I know even Black is here. Yeah, yeah, thought yake. I have two thoughts. I want to agree with Alex, first of all, in terms of I'm looking at my hope and wish is that we have two clear political, ideologically defined movements or camps come 2027, so that Kenya Kwanza, let it stick together the way they are. Wasitupatie the mongrel that turned to be the Jubilee that we had, and now later we didn't know what we were dealing with. The Jubilee breakup is part of the problem that we were dealing with in 2022. If they sat together and they stuck together, we would have been now sorting Jubilee and NASA. Then we know Jubilee has failed us. It was so hard for us to even now even come up and say Jubilee has failed us, therefore Jubilee needs to go. Because now one side of Jubilee was with Azimio, the other side of Jubilee was with Kenya Kwanza. So you didn't know whom are you, even if you wanted to criticize Jubilee, but you have the Jubilee president as the Azimio chairman. So how do you come out and now say Jubilee has failed us as a government? You know? So we are hoping that come 2027, we will not have that confusion. So that if we are looking at Kenya Kwanza government, that is what we are having right now, have they performed? What is their score sheet? That, for one, is what I'm hoping. Now, when you have that, then if you look at Kenya Kwanza, the person who seems to have a sense of what it takes and the energies to organize, to deal with that kind of drama is one Simba Harati. So that is fine. He can marshal the people, bring in. He has been an MP in Nairobi. He knows the working out of that, and he's also young and energetic. I remember when they were looking for Simba Rat in his house, he could come out and say, "I've just been in the house. Where have these people been looking? The police were there, I don't know for how many days, trying to trace him. They couldn't find him." So you need some kind of toughness, which he exudes. And then, of course, he's going to bring in the dilution of the fact that the side of ODM has always... Simba has also tried to be party leader. There was a time ODM had announced that they were doing election for party leaders, and Simba offered himself. So I think he's a guy to watch. Now, that aside, I now want to bring my second view that is a bit now on the mix. In Kenya Kwanza, Mudavadi has ambition of becoming a president. Now, with Rigathi Gachagua there as a deputy president to Ruto, and the arrangement working out, Mudavadi has no chance of becoming a president in Kenya Kwanza. Now, Mudavadi has had a political base, and he has worked with ODM and these other parties. We can talk Mudavadi out of Kenya Kwanza in 10 years. And he can come in and become the candidate for the opposing side, for whoever will be fronted by Kenya Kwanza after Ruto. Mudavadi will stand a chance. Mudavadi will have the Luya support. Mudavadi will have the ODM, because I don't see any other person that can command the respect that Mudavadi would command if he came in and a coalition came in that includes ODM. So he would have Nyanza with him, and then hopefully he would be backed by Kalonzo, and then you'll be the Coastarians also would back him. So if you have a Western bloc together, we have Western bloc together, we have Nyanza bloc together, we have Kambas together, and then we have Coastarians. Whoever will be fronted, I think Mudavadi will stand a chance. That is my arithmetic in terms of 2027. Because if Mudavadi remains in Kenya Kwanza, he will never see the presidency. Because once it comes from Ruto, Gachagua for a fact, come 2027, he will want to run for the presidency of this country. As much as Ruto said that in 2027, if they are leaving, they live together, I'm sure Gachagua will want to run. Now that means what? Mudavadi cannot be deputy president. He has been a vice president before, so he will want the big post, and he can't fit. He can't be fronted. So the only other place he would stand a chance is come out and join us, and then of course now we front him as a candidate for this other side. Now that's the second thought that I'm having. Yes, Alex.
One thing we realized in this election, and you can see, when Sakaja started running for the governorship, he made a very controversial statement that the only person who has ever come to his kid's birthday is Baba, which is to show us that he has a very good relationship with Baba. Now, the other thing is Herman Manyora and Atwoli refused totally to criticize Sakaja. They did not even comment about his papers or anything. The Luyas have realized they have the highest vote in Nairobi. And as my friend said, Sakaja is a man to watch. Do not underrate him. Now, the future of Nairobi, if the Luyas decide to vote for each other, is that they can decide to take over Nairobi easily. It's not that I like Sakaja, but it's a proven now in terms of electorate that Luyas are so many in Nairobi. So I don't think Mudavadi will be able to win over Sakaja. Sakaja is going to become extremely popular if he does his job very well. Mudavadi has finished himself politically, and that is my view, to a point that he cannot resuscitate. And even if he was trying to resuscitate himself politically, I don't think Wetangula is going to allow him to do that. So the problem we are having in Western province is this. They know how to work under Ruto, but when you tell them to unite, they refuse to unite. They can't work together. So that is the problem. Now, the second one is Wetangula has proved that he had more power than Mudavadi. Mudavadi could not even win the MCA of his region, Mr. Temba, the governorship, the senatorship. So for you to tell us that he is going to outshine Wetangula cannot allow, and Wetangula has taken a very strategic position, which is the speakership. Do you understand that? So he will make sure at any level he's going to become the kingpin of Western, not Mudavadi. So Mudavadi has killed himself politically. Had Mudavadi calculated well, I would have agreed that he could have become, probably, he could have inherited the Nyanza region. The Kisi people could have voted him easily. The Kambas could have voted him easily. But the way he acted this time around, Mudavadi killed himself politically. So Mudavadi is gone. As my friend had said, the new crop of leaders that we can look at, though I do not like him, let's not underrate that young man called Sakaja. Sakaja may surprise us in a manner that we may not know. Because when you hear Herman Manyora talk, in all his submissions and his channel, he never criticized the man. Even when they knew that the guy had fake papers, they did not. Atuoli did not. Sifuna did not. The lawyers, including the other day, they went to a certain funeral immediately after the election. You remember that funeral whereby they said, we have seen that if we marshal the support, it is easy for us to take the presidency of Kenya. So what Atuoli is going to do this time around and Manyora is to rally their own. And I don't think Mudavadi will be part of that. So Sakaja has a bright future. If he works very well strategically, I think he has a bright future. Now, there is another coalition, if it will be met, it will surprise people. If Simbarati wants to give the Kenya Kwanza a run of their vote, if he successively come together with Mutula Kilonzo and Munya and make a coalition of the Meru, Kambas, and Kisis, then Ruto has a problem in 2027. If they can be successful to do that, because you realized the people who gave Azimio more votes this time around were the Kambas. The Kambas, they vote as a bloc. And in 2002, when Nyachai was running under 4 people, he successfully got all the MPs to be in 4 people. So, and the Merus are also many. So if they try to make such kind of coalition, and I'm not trying to be tribal, I'm only saying coalitions are political tribal mortgage. If they get Simbarati in Kisii, the Kambas come together and the Merus come together, it will be difficult to beat that coalition. So as my friend said, Mutula Kilonzo is also to watch, because Mutula Kilonzo was quiet a little bit for 2 reasons. He wanted to become the governor first. He did not want to trample the Kalonzo kingship in Ukambani. But where he has gotten to, you see, Ukambani ya ukweli kabisa ni Kitui, ni Makueni, and then Kitui, then Machakos. So he has gotten a place whereby he can start fighting with Kalonzo and dislodging. Remember, there was a time yeye na Wambua walipea Kalonzo shida sana. So we are going to see a lot of realignment. But one thing I am sure, in ODM, there is no Luo who is able to take over.
Can I
go on?
Yeah, let me say this. 2027 is gone. That one is gone, dusted. The only person who can, because every generation have its own leaders. So then there's no way Simba Arati will going to just 5 years forget about Kisii, which is a strategic county, and go national. So he still want to amass wealth there, and he's still young. So he's Sakaja, so he's Mutura Kilonzo. There will be a weak candidate in 2027. And that weak candidate will be around, people you are talking about, Munya, Madakarua, Joho, Karonzo, and in case people like Oparanya, if they don't join the government. So that will be a week. They will be trounced by Ruto. I think any serious political alignment will be 2032 in central Kenya. And I can tell you, siku njema huonekana asubuhi. Central Kenya, we have our own process. It will take another 20 years. So I don't see any serious candidates coming up in Central Province another 20 years. And we are all in agreement that the next president will come from Western Kenya. We have serious candidates. We have Wetangula, we have Sakaja, we have Mudavadi. Those are the three serious candidates for the next candidate for the next cycle leadership. And when you look at their age and experience and all that, I think Sakaja fits the bill. He will beat Musalia pants down. He will hit Wetangula pants down. So I think any serious candidate, Wetangula want to be speaker for the next 10 years. The office of prime minister with the budget, with the treasury, is such a prime thing for Mudavadi. It's the highest ever for him, and even for him. So I think he might not want to go to the forest just 3 years down the line. He want to stick there up to 2032 and try his chance. But I can tell you, even 2020 by 2030, Sakaja will be up there. Number two, I think Nyanza and Central Province are in the same they are going through a changeover, transition, community transition. So it is time for Nyanza also to go under in terms of leadership, go under in terms of sort out your issues, go and identify a kingship, then come back. A kingship is not identified by just one cycle. It takes like 3 or 4 cycles to get a kingship. So I think Central and Nyanza will go under for the next 20 years. In Central Province, no one can take over the country for the next 20 years. I can tell you for free. The people who are closer to leadership was people like Mother. They have been completely destroyed by Gachagua. Gachagua is not a presidential material. He is a damage control. We have our own issues in Central Province. We wanted to destroy Uhuru Kenyatta and the mafias and the Mount Kenya. That was our biggest achievement. So we were not actually going for leadership. So Gachagua is not there to take over the community. Why? We wanted somebody who knows Uhuru Kenyatta, somebody who knows their girlfriends, somebody who knows his finances, somebody who have been a PA, somebody who can destroy from inside. And that's why Gachagua fitted the bill. But in terms of leadership, I can tell you the community will mutate slowly. It will have there is always a way of Kikuyus to look for leadership. We are waiting for a big thing to happen. Can be a calamity, can be a whatever that will give us a leadership will emerge from there. So I still goes back to who is the next president of Kenya. Johnson Sakaja. That's my bill. And he will be supported by who? He will be supported by Kangata. He will be supported by Mutura Kilonzo. That's where the power will lie. Gladys Wanga, I can tell you, in absence of Baba and her connection with the national politics, be it Kangatas, be it those, because those are peers. I think that's where power will go. Of course, my final one is money. Who has money of those young people? Kangata is a governor. So 10 years, if he tried 10 years, he'll be in a pole position. Mutura is a governor, 10 years. Simba Arati, 10 years. Sakaja, 10 years. Who else? Gradis, 10 years. So what does that mean? They will have acquired sufficient resources to go to the national level. For 2027, I don't see anything serious. I don't see Mudavade walking out of treasury anytime soon. He will just be there. You see how people like Barala went to the ministry and they were quiet. They were senior politicians, but they went to those ministries and they were quiet. So they can now go back and reorganize themselves. So I see Mudavade sitting for the next 10 years with Ruto. And the Ruto we know is a gentleman when it comes to human relations. He will not disorganize Mudavade. He'll keep him in terms of trying to think elsewhere, but he will keep him. And I can tell you, those guys will be there for 10 years. Anything serious, 2032, Johnson, Ada, Sakaja. And remember, I also want to tell you, wewe uachane na watu wetu wa nini wa Kenya kwanza. You cannot look for your candidate in our territory. Usianze kufikiria watu wetu ati sasa ndio mtachukua muwaweke opposition. Hapana, mgoje 2032 tuwapatie. And in any case, let me tell you,
wetu before, kwani wamekuwa wenu lini? We owned them for more than 10 years.
Sasa si tunasema 20 mugoje watafute pesa kidogo.
I want to disagree, Mr. Mbudi. I want to disagree with one thing.
Mm-hmm.
When Trump took over,
mm-hmm.
we did not know that Trump can be dislodged. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
But he mismanaged the COVID thing to
mm-hmm.
that people became mad, and he lost.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm telling you. You can't say that 2027 hiyo imeshaenda. No, that's a pure lie. How Gachagua and Ruto are going to perform is going to be very critical. Okay? It's going to be very critical on how we are going to judge them. In 100 days, kama ile kutenga alisema atatenga hatafanya. You know, there are people who are literally waiting wapewe pesa. Do you know that? They believed all that lies. They are waiting to be given money. Do you know that there are people who are literally waiting to be given money
mm-hmm.
to do business? And Ruto is not going to be able to do that. That was just a campaign strategy. In 100 days, ikiwa mafuta, unga, na vitu hazitaenda chini, people are going to start saying, oh, this man lied to us. And how he's going to choose his cabinet again? You see, that's the most difficult thing. How he's going to, because Gachagua wants 50% of the cabinet. How he's going to choose again at his cabinet is going to be difficult. If he chooses a Kalenjin to be a minister for finance, minister for interior government, and minister for energy, unajua ameshachukua government yote hii. Unaelewa? So you cannot say that Ruto is safe. That house has become too big. We are going to see how they are going to organize themselves. We are going to see how he's going to make the government. He has made a mistake to bring so many people to him, thinking that he is able to give them all these seats. By the time tunafika 2025 hapo, I think his relationship with Gachagua itaanza kuenda down. That is my belief. Gachagua is not a person that also is easy to deal with. So you can't say here what 2027 imeenda. My friend, haijaenda. Remember people that Trump came with in the government. By the time he finished, almost all of them had gone. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So we are, and wakati unasema hapa kuwa ati Ruto can be trusted with relationship, it's because he had not found appointing authorities. My father used to tell me this: money does not change people, it reveals who they are. And power is going to reveal who Ruto is. Okay? And once it reveals who he is, now that is where we are going to go spiral down. So, how he's going to choose his cabinet, especially three positions: finance, interior, and energy. If he decides to choose only the Kalenjins there, my friend, there's going to be a problem in that government. So, Themba, maybe you can tell me what you think about that.
Can I rebuttal a bit, Demba, before you come in?
Let me say something so that you rebuttal together.
Okay.
In politics, you can never be so sure. If you have political awareness, you can never be so sure. You can only give a prediction to a certain percentage. Like saying that this is done, this is not that. You can never be so sure in politics, because politics is not static. Politics is very dynamic, very dynamic. What you see today in like they say, a year in politics, a day in politics is like a year. Is too long. A lot can happen between now and next week, between now and 5 years from now. So kwa siasa, it is not done until it's done. Ask Alex. He has mourned for 1 week. He has come back, I think, today.
Yeah, he's looking better.
Siasa, you can give a prediction, but you can never be so sure. It's usually very a different ballgame. Now, where is my point coming from? It is not yet done for Ruto 2027. It's not yet done, and I want to agree with Alex that you never know what, who knew there will be COVID, and COVID will be mismanaged by someone, and that will be the cause of him not being re-elected. And in Azimio, a day before, Alex, people were tweeting. You are tweeting. It's coming home. It's already home. Yeah. You are even planning how you are going to, where people are going to meet.
I remember having
Yeah.
that show. I
Yeah.
remember Clinton having that show.
Yeah, where would people be meeting to eat mbuzi? Stone Piquet has not come back since then up to today. So it was in the evening, and people are like, tomorrow is the D-Day. Ikishatangazwa hivi, people are going to a certain place. So that's what you call politics. We wake up and now who is that? Put on your camera if you're coming on the studio, tafadhali. We need to see who you are. Don't put on your camera. We just get you out. Brian and Kit, please put on your camera and then we will bring you back. So, politics, Benson, is ni pata potea. Unapotangazwa, even Malala knew that he had already won Kakamega. And you see what happened. So it could be, we can say Ruto has a chance of being re-elected in 2027 because he will be the incumbent, and incumbent in our scenario has been re-elected from the word go. Kibaki, Uhuru, and we've not had a one-term president, you know. So the history is yet to be broken so far. So maybe we might have one day a one-term president, but for now we have that. So if chances are that he'll be re-elected, chances are high chances, but it doesn't mean that it is a done deal. That is what I needed to add, so that even as you respond, then you put that into consideration.
Okay. Before he adds, I want to remind you of Zambia. Zambia has one of the most democratic country in Africa. Their transition since Kaunda went has been very, very good. When King Cobra died, the white president took over for a while, and Edgar Lungu came blazing and made sure that he had gotten him out. So he finished King Cobra's first term. He came again. Analytical helped him to win, but this time around it was so difficult because he did not perform, and he was removed by HH. Okay, so when you think it's impossible, you have to look at the examples in Africa whereby some people have been removed from power by people because of people like Ruto who overpromise and do not deliver. Somebody like HH could be gotten out. I couldn't believe it that Edgar Lungu could be removed out as the president of Zambia. But the Zambians came overwhelmingly and voted the guy out. So you can't be sure that how Ruto is going to behave with Gachagua, that is how this government is going either to be voted in or out. And let me tell you, the problem of promising is this. You give people hope that is hot air, and then you don't deliver, and they will take you out like that hot air. I wish Ruto could not overpromised, kuambia watu tutatenga pesa, tutawapea pesa. How do you just start giving people money? As who? So I want you to remind you that as you answer that, we have examples in Zambia. We have other examples in other countries in Africa. People have been voted one term and they have gotten out. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Alex, and then, but yeah, maybe you say maybe I would have said Ruto had the high chances, considering that the old trunk is the Mzee will not be there, or maybe you never know. So he have a higher chances of coming back. I had an office in Zambia. I worked in that 2018, before Corona, 2020. I had an office in Copperbelt, and I used to go there twice per month. So I actually participated a lot, and Rungu was my guy. We used to call him Muntu Nirungu, and of course he mismanaged the country. And so, as you are saying, I agree with you. He mismanaged the Zambia for like 3-4 years with Chinese, and that's how he lost to HH. HH have been a very strong person. If you read about HH is the strongest, richest man in Zambia, with a lot of wealth in across Africa. Having said that, when you look at the manifesto and the architecture of Ruto government, it's based on software. And when I say software, he was very careful in terms of his promises. They are all software. and I think he will surprise us. He will surprise us with the software. And when I mean software, I mean you want to sort dairy farmers. You just need 4 billion. You want to sort out. So it's not a huge investment. It's not an SGR which took billions of money. He promised a hustler fund. It's just 50 billion per year. So I think he's going to surprise us. And if you reason a lot, and I want now that we have an opportunity to interrogate manifestos and the principles behind these manifestos, you'll be surprised how it will be easy for Ruto. Actually, when you look at it, it is based on 150 billion 150 billion per year for the next 5 years to achieve all what he promised. And that is what the new money in terms of software, plus now the normal infrastructure, education, and service delivery for the government. So he might surprise us. Number three, I want to go to the accord. They've been talking with a lot of people inside the accords. He have already distributed the cabinet to the people he promised. We all know that Justin Muturi will be internal security. We know Musalia will be in treasury. We know Ketel is going back to energy. So basically, these things are out there, and the cabinet have been. In fact, the biggest problem now is to deal with women. The promise of 10 women, because how do you deal with all these other men who signed the agreement, and you still need to give 50% of the cabinet. So in terms of keeping it cool, I think he will be managed to put his teams together. And finally, we know the experience, the money, the kind of charisma, and the kind of mobilizations that is required to put a serious presidential campaign. Unless Baba is coming back in 2027, I don't see serious mobilization coming out. So that gives Ruto 60-70% chances of re-election. I submit.
Yeah, that's very true, Benson. And by the way, politically speaking, 2027, if someone has not planned it right now, then they are late.
Yeah.
If you want to be the president in 2027, you should have your act together. You can't start a year or 3. That is part of the drama that I think even affected the Azimio campaign, because Azimio, they were putting together the house, I think 3 months to the election, and you are bringing all these political parties together, and you are trying to create they created something that looked like too many people put together, decision-making organs. You had the presidential campaign team, whose spokesperson was Professor Makau Mutua. You had the secretariat, presidential secretariat, which was led by one Nderitu Mureithi. You had another board of Akinasali Kosgei of advisors, and then you had 24, 23 political parties, all of them with their own structures. And then together with the Kalonzo dynamic, coming in, moving out, coming in, it was taking a lot of time to sort non-issues, while the main issue was campaign for the real thing. So if you don't put your house in order early, like right now, like the people you're going. I don't understand why political parties cannot have their nominations even 1 year to an election. so that you sort out the issues of political party nominations, memaliza, and you don't have to wait until a certain time. So if you can do the issues of nomination, you finish early, so that you are now focused on building a team that is going to win you an election. That is it. So I agree with you. Uh, Strategically, of course, Ruto is ahead. He is already having the the advantage of incumbency, which will be towards him. That day, that means what, he'll have the structures, uh, government structures. He'll have the money. You know, he'll also be having the advantage of he can go anywhere with the coffers, so he might not have to use his personal finances by then. So that is something that will work for him. But is it possible to dislodge him? Yes. I mean, someone can. You never know. Someone can come out with a much more comprehensive plan that can be able to, to dislodge him come 2027. But like you say, he is steps ahead, like 70, 20. Some two people have joined us. Who is this? This is, why are you calling yourself mom? And the brokit. There's a bryokit, I think, and mom. Why are you calling yourself mom? What was that?
MJM.
Oh, MJ. MJ. And bryokit. Okay, so let's hear bryokit, then we hear MJM. And you guys, the show had been closed, so we just decided to come and give a chat. We are just having a chat, so you don't have to be too serious about anything. Just give your view to what you're finding, what you're talking about, if you have any. So go ahead, bracket.
Okay. I just joined the forum because I like following you and listening to you guys. But my view is like everybody has said right now, 2027 is already gone. Hiyo hiyo hakuna kupigana nayo. Hiyo Ruto tu atachukua. There's nobody else who can take it away from him. Until, like you just said, somebody lazima kuwa amejipanga, like right now. If you think of 2027, unafaa kushapiga hesabu yako like right now. But according to atakuwa state, yuko in the state, atakuwa shajua everything. So, and he already beat them pants down right now. So I don't know. For that one, it's a long shot. And then by the time if you can hear ingine, like Raila is not gonna be there unless there's somebody else. And you guys have said it. Sakaja is the next big thing to watch. Not even Babu Wino. Sakaja is the next big thing to watch. Babu said he's gonna run, he's gonna rule, but no, I don't think so. Sakaja is the next big name. That's what I think. But that's just my view. Everybody has an opinion, but yeah, that's what it is. I told I told my late mom Uhuru will be president one day, even when he lost the first time, but she didn't believe it. But yep, Uhuru was president. But yep, saizi ameenda nyumbani. So it is what it is. But Sakaja is the next thing, next big thing. He's done. People have not talked about his papers, and yep, he's still in office. So that's how I see it right now. But William Ruto will still be a two-term president. He's not gonna be a one-term president. He'll be a two-term president, and then trust me, Sakaja ni jina ingine kubwa yenye tunafaa kuangalia. Okay, that's what I think. Thank you.
Lakini aende shule tutaki he has 5 years to go to school. We don't want these issues of nini.
Okay.
He can go to UN hapo amalizie shule yake
Uh,
tusikuwe na the same drama come 2027. If
okay.
if those people don't take him to court right now, kuna mtu aende kusema is not qualified. Yes,
Temba.
MJM.
Okay, I rest my case.
MJM.
Okay, thanks a lot, Themba, for that. It's not mom, it's not even MJM, it's supposed to be MGM. Yeah, it's MGM. It's a long name. My name is Musoko Jean Muluba. So it's MGM, not MJM. Huh? So, okay, I see the discussion, whatever happened, happened. I can assure you I disappeared from this forum for quite some time. I was in, what's his name? Bernard's forum. I used to come there a lot. And for me, I think Alex can bear me witness. My main focus is and
Alex,
so
can you bear witness?
when so
MGM, your internet is
I
inapotea,
think
so ndio
connection.
tulikuwa naambia Alex bear
Okay,
witness.
sir. I think it's
Inapotea. Yeah, endelea, your internet sijui ina fluctuate. MGM. Okay, Alex, can you bear witness?
Yeah, we are in another forum. Nae is very active there.
Okay. Njiru, habari gani?
Jema kabisa, unanisikia?
Umeamuka, umerudi, umewacha kulia, umeoga, umerudi soko. Naona Alex pia ameoga, amerudi soko. Sisi tulioga tukarudi soko kitambo.
Now, you see now, we have now to move on and strategize and plan. Now, what we need to look forward to is that elections are competitive in nature, and going forward, mtu akishaapishwa, you cannot start now. Now that one is a bygone case. Sasa hatuwezi anzia sasa kurudisha tebu nyuma. So now what we need to focus on is that still as Azimio, because I was believing in Azimio principles, I believe that those Azimio principles will not be implemented in this government dispensation. We brought the issue of character, that is integrity. We had brought the issues of gender parity, that is solving the issues of gender imbalance. So I can promise Azimio people that there is a lot of exploits in the future. And we do not need to start losing hope and start now joining Kenya Kwanza in terms of being consumed in their party. And we can lay a good strategy for future politics. Because even in 2027 or 2032, we will need a very strong person to oppose Mr. Ruto. But we need to know one thing, that the qualification of Ruto, or the reason why the people who are perceived to have voted Ruto, they have voted Ruto because they have so much expectations from him. And could he not make those people
Can you guys hear him? I can't hear him.
He has muted himself.
He's gone. We can't hear him.
Njiru. Njiru. I don't know what happened. Let me get him off at least for now. So you, Mr. Brayo, you're saying that 2027 is a done deal.
2027 you can take it to the bank. Yo 2027. Hey, this is the deputy president who's tried to run for presidency one time. He already had his game marked out. Deep State was in there. Uhuru alikuwa na president wake, which is Baba, which we all know. But at the end of the day, Uhuru had to come out and aseme, yenyewe nimekubali, nilisema nitakubali vile mahakama itasema, and akakubali. And he was there. He was not like happy. The body language could show it, but he had to hand over the tools of power. There's nothing much he could have done. But 2027, acha nikwambie, there's no way Ruto ata run for one term. He will try to perform, and I know he made a lot of promises, some of which are not like.
But Brayo,
See,
acha nikuulize,
yeah.
which party? I mean, let's now talk figures.
Uh-huh.
Which party has more MCAs than the other between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio?
MCAs, I think it's Azimio who are on top.
Which party has more governors between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio?
There's a difference of one or something like that. There's a difference of one, because I know in the Senate pia
No,
difference.
Senate difference ni moja, lakini governors Azimio iko na kama 24.
Governors ni Azimio. Okay, governors ni Azimio. But kuna watu wenye
ngoja atuongee mambo ya defection sasa bado. Wacha tuanze na numbers ambazo zilikuja baada ya campaigns.
Uh-huh.
So baada ya campaigns, Azimio has majority governors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Azimio has majority MCS.
Yes, sir.
Azimio has majority MPs.
I'm not sure about the MPs,
not after defection. Of course, kuna wale independents walijiunga na Kenya Kwanza, alafu kuna watu walidefect wakaingia Kenya Kwanza.
Yeah, that is why MPs is opposite.
But before numerically in terms of numbers, wale walikosaidi Azimio had more, all right?
Yes.
So what that translates into, therefore, the plan of Azimio of campaigning worked.
Uh-huh.
Right?
But hold on, let me cut you short. Hebu angalia kama mama wa kitenge, yeye iko na vitenge mingi kushinda hata kuna zenye alipatia baba.
Sasa hapo ndio tunataka unaona, sasa hapo ndio mahesabu sasa ingiani. Unasema sasa okay, mumeshinda.
Alikuwa na vitenge mingi kushinda kuna zenye alipatia baba, hata nyumba yake, hata
ngoja ndugu, tuliza kwanza, chana na vitenge kwanza. Tumeongea numbers. Sawa? So Azimio whatever. Yeah?
Sikatai, wacha nikwambie, hata raundi Raila alichezwa chafu, but kuna mtu aliongea akasema umeibiwa mara 4, hii ni ya 5. We kwani hizo mara 4 ukiibiwa bado hujajua kuiba? Because amechezwa. Mzae analalanga.
Sasa ndio nasema hii. Unaona, whatever thing ambayo walikuwa nayo worked, ili deliver.
Yeah.
But unajua unaweza cheza mpira tamu, lakini the winning goal, unakumbuka, was it ile the golden goal ilifungwa na Maradona?
Yeah, nakumbuka. Yeah, I know.
Unakumbuka hiyo?
Yeah.
That is what matters. You can play a very good soccer game, unaweza chenga watu, unaweza kuwa na ball possession ya 80%, 20%.
Yep.
Lakini what matters ni nini?
Golden goal.
Hiyo goal tu, hiyo ndio sasa, hiyo tu ndio katika mchezo wa mpira, hiyo ndio ina determine. So you can be having majority MPs, you can be having majority governors, you can be having whatever, but now that golden goal,
yep,
ikakosa.
Wacha nikwambie, mi hata sijui kwa nini, like Wacha wangeachia tu baba aongoze tu miaka 5. Baba angeenda term moja tu, alafu angekuwa ameshachoka. Wangeacha tu baba ende term moja, but yeah, it is what it is.
No, najua uongozi uachiwi bwana. Hiyo sasa ndio kitu ndio nakwambia.
Uongozi unatafuta, but kama mtu alikuwa amejipanga,
unajua sasa wewe unaingiza mafeeling ati wangeachia tu baba. Hii ni kitu bwana, everybody.
No, si ati feelings. Hiyo ni baba hiyo si feelings. Baba ni mtu wa watu. Si ati niko na feelings. Ndio.
Unajua ukianza nasema hivi, unajua ukianza kuweka ati wangemwachia tu, hakuna mtu anakuachia. Hii kitu hakuna kuachiwa bwana. Kila mtu wanaume akipatana kwa uwanja, kila mtu anaitaka. So
wewe kwani haukuwa unataka baba angeingia tu akae tu
mimi nilitaka baba. Mimi hata mimi ni mtu wa baba. Mimi ni mtu wa Azimio. Mimi nilikuwa I was routing for Azimio big time. Yeah, but now when it reached that especially ilipofika sasa tunaenda kotini.
Oh man, yeah.
Then nikaanza kuona the way watu wetu Alex wanatoa ma press statement, they looked defeated people. Unajua when you start seeing your team giving press conferences sababu immediately after
and that's what nasema huyo rafiki yetu mwenye alikuwa hapa, a wounded lion is more dangerous. What they did to Baba may decide to back somebody in 2027 and make sure Baba will just look for a heir apparent, whether they're getting along or not, to destabilize Ruto. Baba can do that. So you can't count him out. Hii maneno mnasema ati 2027 is already gone. I'm telling you guys, this is a man who has been in politics for a very long time, and he knows. In 2002, when he realized Nyachae cannot win, he put Nyachae on the side and said, Kibaki Tosha. Why? Because they needed to defeat who? Kanu. So Baba can decide to say, okay, who can I mentor and who can I give these votes to one hivi, vile itaenda. Ruto is not off the hook. The only person he fears in that country, he doesn't even fear Uhuru. The only person he fears is Raila Amolo Odinga. If Raila Amolo Odinga will be alive in 2027, Ruto has to campaign seriously. Ruto has to campaign seriously. This thing is not just gone like that. If Baba looked for somebody and says, wewe tosha, he can make a thing out of him. So musitudanganye hapa wewe na ule jamaa mwingine ati kitu imeenda wapi?
Wacha nikuulize, I'm sorry to cut you short. Wacha nikuulize, what if Ruto performs in these 5 years? What makes you think he will not get the votes?
Winning is not about performance. Kanini Kega performed and is home.
Wait, wacha tuseme a perform. Wacha tuseme tu a perform. Then what happens?
Winning an election is not about performance. In Kenya, at least in Kenya, ato perform ufanye nini. It's a whole ball game. He will perform and he will have done his part, which is good. But that has nothing to do with how people will vote for you. Actually, wacha nikwambie, hata anaweza anzisha hiyo sijui hustler fund anaongea. Anaweza hata reduce hata hizo nini atafanya zote, but that is not disconnected from how people will behave. The voter behavior in Kenya is so different. How many times did Uhuru come and say that nimajengea SGR nimafanyia nini? But people did not want to hear none of that in Central Kenya.
But already mbolea imeshuka, unajua hivyo, right?
Alex, why do you have 2 connections?
Do I have 2 connections?
Yeah, I'm on none.
No, I don't have 2 connections.
You have 1 connection, okay.
Yeah.
Ati mbolea imeshuka?
Mbolea ishashuka already.
Unajuaje?
Shangazi yangu amenipigia kaniambia mbolea imeshuka iko 35 saa hii.
Hiyo ni mbolea ilikuwa imekuwa imported na watu tu wanangojea. Hiyo hawezi.
Tamba, acha mimi ni nyamazi. Acha nikae kando nisikie.
Acha nikwambie, ukiona gave kikwambia ati acha nikurudishe nyuma. Unakumbuka Michuki
safety belt.
Unajua Michuki alikuja akakaza magari yaweke safety belt. Kumbe watu wao wameweka hizo safety belts tu mahali wanangojea biashara itekezwe.
I remember that.
Unacheza ukisikia mahali serikali inasema ati sasa tunataka, kama saizi walisema wanataka kugeuza kubadilisha nguo ya askari. Kuna mtu tayari ashapewa supply.
Oh man. Anyway,
pesa ile alitumia kwa campaign lazima irudi.
The good thing saizi tu tunaongea tuko on a same platform, like hakuna siasa, hakuna feelings, ni kucheka, but yeah, it's the good thing, like at least tunarevishana hapa nje, but yeah, there's always, I don't know, Kenyan politics, I gave
I said here earlier in 1992 we had Goldenberg scandal when Moi was supposed to be thrown out. Now that election, I don't know if Anglo-leasing.
Alex, kwani mnaongea watu wangapi?
Nani anao?
Alex, yuko na echo ama kuna mtu anafaa kumute? Kuna sergeant anafaa kumute.
Yeah, it was.
Endelea sasa.
So in 1992, we had Goldenberg. In 1992, in 2002, we had Anglo-leasing. In 2013, we had what? We had Eurobond. Wait for another big scandal. Unajua watu wamekuwa wakiiba ile nini ilikuwa ni 20 billion. 1992 ilikuwa only 20 billion. Anglo-leasing became a little bit bigger. When it came to Eurobond, it was almost 5 trillion. Ruto is going to borrow more than 30 trillion to that economy. And half of it is not going to go, and we are going to have a big, big debt. And that is why I'm saying by the time it's 2027, we will be like how Zambia was. And that's how HH took over. Ruto has appetite for money. There is this IMF loan ambayo Uhuru refused to sign. Ruto is going to sign it. Okay? And then he is going to go to the east and borrow, west and borrow. By the time we are 2027, because all these things that he has promised, he will try to do them no matter what, but on borrowed money. But half of that money is not going to come where? To our coffers. And that is why I'm 100% sure hivi. Sisi Azimio ama watu wa ODM, tukijipanga vizuri, we get a candidate. If we try to say right now, you know, you are very right. Sahi tunataka tuanze kujipanga. Tuseme aje, baba, in 2027 you can't run. We need a person that we need to groom. We groom this person very well, the way HH groomed himself. We can give them a run of their money. I don't know kwa nini nyinyi watu mnaogopa mnasema 2027 is gone. 2027 is not gone. Ruto is going to make a lot of mistakes, my friend. Ruto is going to make a lot of mistakes. So what I am trying to say is this. Kwa nini you are giving up too early? Don't give up.
Alex.
Yes.
We're not saying we're giving up. We are saying, like, me, on my perspective, asijampatia chance bado hajaingia hapo, ndio ameingia tu, ajaanza kazi vizuri. Sasa akianza kazi ya perform Alex, alafu perform tu vizuri, like afanye okay, anaweza omba hiyo msaada and all that, just to make sure to cover up for his name. Do whatever alikuwa amesema anafanya, at least muone kuna kazi amefanya. Una believe?
Where has Ruto ever performed from he was given? You know, I want you to give me that historicity. Somebody has a history of performance.
No, saizi yuko under naweza sema
no, just
anasukumwa. Saizi lazima. Saizi amekaa hapo juu, saizi anasukumwa lazima. And then kuna opposition ndio, as much as people think hakuna opposition, kuna opposition. But right now he's gonna try to prove his best. He said 100 days and all that, but let's give him a chance to own it. As for perform, of course, atenda nyumbani. Just the same way you're just saying. Whatever you're saying is right. Whatever you're saying is right. Anaweza serve one term, anaweza kuwa pia make history. Alikuja one time as deputy, akarun one time, akakuwa president, akaserve one term, akaenda nyumbani. Sugoi direct. Si ati nasema haizi enda. Anaweza enda.
Unajua Brian,
the question, where has Ruto performed?
Ngoja.
Hata niseme sitaongea juu ya Ruto because najua kuna pale ame misperform. Pali pengi hata siwezi anza kuongea pali ame perform. Wacha ninyamazie hapo.
Unajua hatuwezi vile sasa Brian anasema. Saizi ni mapema, huwezi jua ati Ruto ataperform aje ama atasema atafanya nini. Lakini unajua siasa ni perception So wale wako wengi wakifeel ni kama wamesaidiwa, ni kama si alienda kwa market anatoa 1,000,000 ati sijui mfanye nini. Watu wakaona ni kama jamaa, huyu jamaa anaenda church, nasikia anatoa pesa alafu mnairudisha baadaye. Lakini hata huyu ndiye anapenda Mungu. So you never know. But politics is dynamic. Is kuna kamutu
atufunge kiosk. Makiadi ingia hapa.
Kuna mtu anaweza emerge between now and 2027, watu washangae na huyu naye ametokelezea wapi?
Njiru iko area ataka kuongea.
But on that I support you. Remember how before Kennedy is the one who endorsed Obama. Obama emerged from nowhere. Nobody knew he was a first-time senator, and even wakina Clinton walimudharau wakafikiria he can't manage to become a president. He marshaled a campaign. Remember when he won in Iowa? Hillary Clinton cried. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He cried until he had to win. Was it Maine ama ilikuwa ni nini? The next one, the caucus next one inakuanga gani? Inakuanga New England huko juu. He begged people to vote for her. So what we are saying this, wakati munasema hakuna mtu anaweza emerge, we have seen leaders come from nowhere like Obama and become a president. New Hampshire, thank you. It was New Hampshire where she won. Leaders coming from nowhere like Obama, and they become something from nowhere at all. So you can't just say that we cannot have an individual. I am telling you and I'm guaranteeing you, if Ruto does not perform in the first 100 days, that is where his problem starts. He He has made the people, the Hustler Nation, believe in a utopia, okay? In a utopia, whereas he's going to give them a dystopia. In 100 days, you cannot do everything that he said. And Themba, you know that very well. Okay? He's not going, there is no utopia in Kenya. Tatenga. In the hospitals, we are going to have problems, especially now you see these governors are doing auditing in most hospitals. We are in dire problem. In Kisii, no medication. Kakamega, no medication. Other places, no medication at all. People are suffering. Sakaja went to Mama Lucy Hospital the other day, and you saw what was happening there. Pregnant women, 2 sharing a bed. Is that the kind of country we want? So I'm here to tell you that Ruto overpromised, and he is going to have a problem because he overpromised. This Hustler Nation, if they don't get what they were told, they are going to be the most bitter people in the Republic.
Alex.
Okay, wait, Brian.
Alex,
Goja kidogo. Wait. Now, welcome perspective. I want to leave Alex in charge. I want to leave Alex in charge. Mi naenda kulala. Sasa tuonane kesho.
Yaani ninaingia unaenda Themba.
Mimi naenda, wewe umeamka saa hizi, mimi wacha niende nikalale. Unaenda unalala alafu unaamuka. Sasa mimi unataka nikukalishe hapa. Ukingoja kwenda. Hiyo kazi mimi sifanyi.
Sawa, kesho nipigie tuongee Themba.
Nitakupigia, niko na namba yako.
Si uko kwa ile group ama we ni wale wanajisikia bougie hawaingii WhatsApp ka hiyo?
Mimi nafanya nini kwa WhatsApp bwana? Mimi sina umbea ya WhatsApp. Mimi na deal na different lakini nitakutafuta, niko kwa hiyo group. Nitakutafuta, I'm kidding ya.
Ati utanitafutaje?
Nitakutafuta, niko kwa hiyo group.
Oh, okay, sawa.
Yeah, nitakutafuta.
Okay, nipigie kesho.
So Alex mkimaliza kuumbea si utafunga show.
So, now Peter to submit.
Okay. Alex, unaweza kufunga show?
No, nataka Sospita asubmit tufunge show pamoja.
Haya basi tusikize Njiru alafu Sospita. Njiru.
Okay, sawa. Themba, nilikuwa tu nikitaka kuongeza kitu. Unanipata?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I wanted to say that unajua issue ya Ruto itakuwa moja, ana commitment ya corruption. That is the problem. Forget about hizo vitu zingine zote, what we are saying here. You know, kutakuwa na so many corruption scandal inside the government until he will not be able to function on other basic things. He can promise, anaweza sema nitafanya ABCD, but what is a script on fighting corruption? Fighting corruption is not about kusema muende. Unajua hiyo story alikuwa anaongea kwa chache juzi, kama unajua cartel, that was a reverse statement. Alikuwa anasema makatel, he was speaking to actually the wale watu who do bad things in the government. It was a reverse statement. He was not talking to them. So ile mimi shida naona atakuwa nayo kubwa sana is corruption. And remember, if you cannot handle corruption, forget any other thing, any other sweet thing. Hata hii Asra fund haita revolve because it should revolve year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Then we will tumezoea Kenyan budget imekuwa increase annually. Up to now we are almost now in the tally of 3 billion. Then kutoka hapo kuna many sectors tumekuwa increase and a lot of construction. Na then amesema from his promises, amesema anaenda kufunga malone, so atuendi kuomba tena. So ile kitu na already sasa umesikia ile story ameleta, kuna some institutions amesema bank account zifungwe. There are some 21 institutions amesema waache kubank na private sector. I think waanzie kubank na KCB na zingine. So ile kitu najiuliza ni hii, could it be a conduit and a create for corruption? Pesa ikienda KBC, pesa ikienda KCB and other and the National Bank, is those governmental institutions. Mimi naona a certain way, like the way we used to function. Unajua, in the private sector, and this is the beauty of actually working with the private sector. Private sector, at the end of the day, they are pegged to productivity. A governmental institution, CBO and the productivity is not a must. That is why when you see somebody want to entirely eliminate the private sector na anataka tu public sector peke yake ifanye kazi, hiyo ni conduit inacreatiwa hapo. Because remember, government workers are naturally careless. So that's why I'm saying now, what we need to do in Azimio or any other political function, because again in Kenya pia, isipokuwa tu ODM imeweza kumorph from one political season to the other one, hizi chama zingine zote, hata hii UDA, it will not reach 2027. 2027 watakuja na chama ingine ili wafiche mashida za UDA, because unajua sasa ukikuja 2027 na UDA ujapeana free internet, ujapeana hustler fund, kuna vitu so ile kitu najaribu kusema, we just need somebody who should be ready to campaign against Ruto, because Ruto will be having so many problems. But remember, Ruto has people to help him. He has akina Hayadin, he has Chebukati, he has the electoral commission system. So saa zingine, even if it doesn't function, na ako na hawa akina judiciary ambao ameanzia kuongezea pesa, he can still find his way out. But if we can raise a very popular candidate and somebody who can be able to marshal serious popularity, where we can defeat him with over 4 million, hata wakikuja kuiba itakuwa ngumu. Now, right now, we have to start customizing a candidate, somebody with a blaze, somebody who can appeal in Kenya. So we now need an explosive candidate. So and I can tell you, sahi Raila amekosa kura, hivyo watu wanasema, but I can tell you, any candidate who Raila can come with, it will be like a bomb. I'm telling you, any candidate, as long as is somebody, let me tell you, Raila is very serious in making a king. Sahi munaweza kuwa mumemkataa, but I can tell you, Raila, whoever he will come with in 2027, it will be like a bomb. Even Ruto himself, what I'm manage. That is my small submission.
Aye. Perspective, now that Alex insist, toa maoni yako tafadhali, keep it short.
Nitakuwa very short.
Gotta go sleep like Brayo nijisikie. Unajua Brayo ako zake saizi.
Mimi niko kwa bed saizi nangojea tu.
Sawa.
Hii ndio mara yangu ya kwanza kwa show tangu election ifanyike, and I've been in mourning. I mean, shock yenye ilinichapa. And I blame you guys. You did not prepare me for the flip side. All of you are making me believe that there's no way out, right? And you made me believe, nothing wrong with IBC.
When you are a visitor in Jerusalem. Siasa. When
it's easier to blame. It's a better coping skill to blame other people than blame myself.
Siasa, my friend. Siasa si kanisa. Siasa. Hata Yesu alikuwa rudi soon hajarudi.
Lakini kitu yenye imenileta hapa ni juu I really don't want to believe, I don't want to fathom, I don't want to internalize that Ruto is not beatable in 2027. Nimesikia mtu hapo akisema it's a done deal. It's not really a done deal. First of all, we only have 22 ministries. Right?
Mtu ni mimi.
Brayo, okay. Okay. we only have 22 ministries.
Raila anajitetea.
Yeah, so we only have 22 ministries. So, and you don't know how many people he promised positions. There's all these people trooping into UDA. You don't know what he's promising them. So that's where the first problem begins. And then also somebody has to convince me that he would have won without Chebukati. He couldn't have. The key cog behind Ruto winning was Chebukati. It starts with Chebukati, ends with Chebukati. That was the first step. The judges came on board just because they wanted to drive the last nail, not even on Raila, but on Uhuru's political network. So we don't know what will happen in 2027. And remember, the key focus, the eyes, the ears, everybody's eyes and ears, the whole international community is focused on our electoral system. And don't think they don't know what happened. It's just that Ruto did it so smartly. It's hard to tell what happened. And even when you know what happened, the judges were bought, and so they went with that story. So our whole interrogation process was blocked at the Supreme Court. Now, one thing about Raila is that the reason why they've always wanted Raila on the ballot is because Raila is more lethal when he supports somebody else. Okay? Raila on the ballot is very polarizing, but when he supports somebody else, he's very lethal. And that's why in 2002, it was very easy for Kibaki to win. Ruto is also very overrated. People say he's this very good speaker. So he's this, I mean, people say he's this very smart, shrewd. The first mistake that he did, even today, was that he tried to use the iPad to do his speech. Way back, I knew that making a speech with an iPad is not is not a smart idea. Way back in 2012, Ruto does not know that. It kind of hangs. It's gonna lock. And going to an inauguration speech without knowing that, without having tried to practice and see how it's gonna work out, that was like the first mistake. It sounds petty, but it tells you that he's not a very serious guy. About his speech and effectiveness, Ruto is a crammist. Ruto is not a good speaker. If you subject him to random questions, did you see him speak in CNN? He looked very mixed up because when questions come randomly, Ruto loses it. And remember the debate? The guy lost it. Ruto is good when he knows that he's coming to talk about infrastructure. He's going to make the speech at night or have the speech, memorize it. Remember, he's a Botsu major. And as a Botsu major, Botsu is about memorizing. It's biology. It's all about memorizing the life cycle of a tadpole, the life cycle of a frog, and then you memorize. And then the next day you go do the test. So that's how Ruto is. And so he's overrated, and he only benefited from Chebukati's benevolence. And if we organize ourselves as opposition, we are going to beat him. I don't think he can withstand a strong opposition. And he's going to make mistakes. He's surrounded by people who obviously are going to be very, very corrupt. There's no way about it. You can predict. I see it, I smell it, I feel it. And I think that's it, Demba.
I would have loved to have you guys speak more, but we gotta go now because I know. I see even Brayo is already in bed, just waiting to peace out. I also just want to peace out so that we can meet up tomorrow and we continue with this umbea. Unajua sasa sisi ni team umbea ambao wanabaki hapa kukoroga watu. Tafadhalini, asanteni sana. Wacha tufunge show vizuri. Thank you so much for coming on. The show had actually ended abruptly, perspective earlier, then we just brought back this gentleman here so that kwenda bila kwa heri si mzuri, so that tuende na kwa heri tuseme at least tulimaliza vizuri. Asanteni sana for coming on. Kindly subscribe to Motembei TV. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I know Brayo, you haven't subscribed to my channel. Kindly go to this channel. Inaitwa Themba and Lulu Show. It is my channel with my daughter.
All right.
And we discuss so many things there. So
I'll check it out. Just send it on the chat message. I'll check it out.
Yeah, put it there. Put it on the messages there. Themba and Lulu Show. Go there, subscribe, and get other people to subscribe so that we can grow together. Si sasa ni serikali ni bottom up. Sasa si hata nyinyi mnifanyie bottom up, mpige hiyo subscription hapo chini iwe bottom up.
Themba hujanitumia kwa message.
Which one? Okay, kwa private message?
No, kwa hii tu because nimejaribu kuipull up sioni.
Put it there. Iko hapo kwa nini? Okay, nimeweka hata private message, private chat. Angalia hapo nimeweka Themba and Lulu Show.
All right.
On YouTube, yeah, you go to YouTube, you'll find it. Themba and Lulu Show. The Themba and Lulu Show.
Mpaka uwezi soma.
Atiaje?
Zimekunata mpaka uwezi soma.
Wewe unajua huku ni saa ngapi saa hizi? Saa hii ni masaa ya kulala.
So nani ameenda? Themba ameenda?
Themba ameenda. Saa hii ni saa 6:30. Kesho tunamkia job, nafaa kuwa nimeshalala. Yaani napenda kuona tu show all the time. So
sasa hata mimi nimetoka studio.
Wacha mimi nitoke.
Wacha nifunge. Nimeweka hapo Themba and Lulu Shows. Tafadhali enda. Good night everybody. Mahali popote unasikia. See you tomorrow, Perspective. I'll look for you. Perspective, I'll look for you. Nitakupigia simu.
Makiadi, good night.